This game is kinda awesome, so I'm gonna continue it. Same day, by the way. Time for another try to begin. But this one is different. Sorry to bother you, but... Are you alright, Apollo? Was I making a scary face just now? Oh, hi, Juniper. Yes, I'm fine. I was just doing my chores of steel exercises. Now I'm all ready to go. Yes, knowing you, I'm sure you will be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden. Is this a lotus root? That's right, my grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. It's for good luck. Maybe later you can cook it and... Thanks for this, I'm gonna have some right now. Oh my! Crunch. Kinda tough though. You can't eat it raw, but thank you for the enthusiastic try. Oops, if she didn't think me weird before, she will now. I gotta calm down. Apollo, I'm sorry I'm late. Hi, Tina. Junie, I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it, you sly little thingy. Ha ha ha. Tina, stop. Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial is about to start any second. Is everything all set? Oh, Apollo, when will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? Ah. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. This is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. This is our client, one Mr. Solomon Sowell Starbuck. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. Sorry, chocolate time. The scene of the crime this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I were there almost a little too much. But that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. We would ask about space travel and he would launch into the story of the story with so much passion. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero. Now... Are you sure you okay with being my lawyer, Apollo? Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder. Thanks, bud. I was supposed to be in space right now. What is this person doing? I'm so depressed it almost seems like an act. The lounge getting called off must have been huge shock. I probably never get the chance to go into space again. Don't say it, don't stop believing. Besides, you just have to go into space again. Yeah, I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in the sound. Clay Terran, I can't believe he was murdered. He was such a promising astronaut under your command. Yeah. He was a good guy, always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? I never seen Mr. Starbuck so down. Clay's gone and I'm going to prison. I wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. What is it? What's with the yelling? I got to the bottom of this today, you see. And in exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay, promise? Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove my innocence? Oh, yeah, well, about that. Well, we didn't get to investigate the area as much as I would have liked thanks to the police. I'm done for. I'm a goner. You're a goner. Everybody thinks I did it. Thought I was gonna soar like a comet, but I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite. No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you've got to keep going. And what about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, isn't Clay your best friend? We need to focus on the trial right now. Are you all ready to go, Apollo? The trial is about to begin. If the defense would please proceed into the courtroom. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is one trial I can't afford to lose. Are we gonna lose it? For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer. I promise you. December 16, 9:55 AM, District Court, courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for a trial of Solomon Starbuck. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Excuse me, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor. What happened to your eye? I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Are you sure? I don't. I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. Keeps insisting it's just a style. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. What's the actual fucking chronology of the cases? Because I think the second one is the first one. Yes, attorney, dual, Destinies, case. Case 2, DSC case. Case 3, case 4. And then case 1, and then case 4. Second part. Wait, what the fuck? Case 4, first part, and then case 1. Case 4, second part. And case 5. Wait, so what happens in... case 1 occurs in the middle of case 4, immediately after the courtroom bombing. Okay, weird. Very well, and the prosecution? Prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Not yet. Not quite ready yet. prosecution is now ready. That's epic as fuck. Well, it didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackville? Now then, I shall give the opening statement.
Silence.
I'll do it. You will? What an unexpected surprise. This time I can't leave it to anyone else. I see. Something is off with the two of you today. You both seem different somehow. Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you would. It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Oh, the famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right? Astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 AM, before they could even move the rocket to the launch site, two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled. I heard 2 bombs? How dreadful. The defendant in today's trial is charged with both of the bombing and with the murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in. Solomon Starbuck? I recognize that name. Isn't he the famous astronaut? Correct your baldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of that Het-1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? Mankind's hope for the future, I've got to make it back alive. They even turned that incident into a movie and everything. Do you guys also think that the moon landing is fake? Because it's just way too fucking convenient that the USA all of a sudden won the space war. I mean, Soviet Union sent the first dog into space, the first person into space, the first, what's the shitty fucking thing called? Rocket? Not rocket. Space war achievements. But it's a fucking game. Soviet. First artificial satellite, that's what I was thinking. Sputnik 1, first living creature in orbit. Sputnik 2 carried the dog Laika into orbit. First spacecraft. Luna 1 became the first spacecraft to leave Earth's orbit and reach the heliocentric orbit. First impact on Moon. Luna 2 was the first human-made object to make contact with another celestial body. First photos of the far side of the Moon. Luna 3 versus USA. So, who was first in which? Okay, so first communications satellite, Project Score 1958. 1962, first American to orbit the Earth. First humans to orbit Moon. Follow it, first humans on the Moon. 1969. Versus first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1. First impact on Moon, Luna 2. First human in space, Yuri Gagarin. First woman in space. What the fuck? What is this? First human in space and then first woman in space. Voids are people too. Literally. It's not me, it's the fucking Google. Look at this shit. What the fuck? Sexist much? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? That's so fucking fucked. Okay, so first human being, and then the first void, first spacewalk, first robotic landing, and first space station. Although the first space station happened after the moon landing. So like, the Soviets were winning and then all of a sudden they came up with this shit where they landed on the moon. I'm just trolling, by the way. Unless you guys support my theory. In that way, I'm not trolling. Yeah, the propaganda versus technology. The Soviet Union often achieved milestones faster, focusing on political spectacle. The US ultimately won the race to the moon with more robust technology. But also the Venus landing like a, I don't know what it was, a robot or some shit, landed on the Venus, and it survived for like 30 minutes, and it even sent back pictures. And that's crazy. That's way better than like landing on the shitty fucking Mars. Did USA send anything to Venus? Yes, the United States has sent numerous spacecraft to Venus. Okay, I lied, I guess. Wait, the first successful flyby flew by Venus, used Venus for gravity assist. Anything onto landing on Venus like the Soviets did. Yes, the United States sent probes that landed on Venus, but unlike the Soviet Union, they did not send landers designed to return images or survive for a far extended time on the surface. The Soviet Union's Venera program successfully land, take photos, and analyze soil of Venezuelan surface. Pioneer Venus multiprobe. NASA sent multiprobe mission consisting of one large and three small probes designed to enter the atmosphere. They were intended to be atmospheric probes, not surface landers. So this is what I'm talking about. What the fuck is this? Sending them into the atmosphere and not landing. What a shitty fucking idiotic. Although not designed to survive the impact, one of the NASA probes unexpectedly survived and transmitted data for over an hour after hitting the surface. The US probes did not carry cameras, so while they sent back vital data and pressure and temperature, they did not return photos of the surface. Waypoint, by the way. The Soviet Union prioritized Venus, often termed the Soviet planet, as an avenue. What was I searching? What else was I searching? Oh yeah, the Voyagers. What is the Salyut 1? Salyut 1, space station. What are space stations even? Oh, I see. I see what it is. I like this. So basically, space race, first space station, Soviet Union, first craft on a different planet, Venus, first space rocket, Soviet Union, first satellite, Soviet Union, first craft on Mars, first man, woman, and dog in space, first spacewalk, first moon landing, but the first man on moon meant that the USA won the space race. How does that work? Although the Voyagers are the biggest, I think, winners with this, but that was way after, I mean, 2 to 3 years after they landed on the moon. Guys, I'm a big moon landing hater. I just hate this. Why did the USA win? I hate the United States of fucking shit. America. Shit America. Anyways, let's continue. We've got a real space pioneer in court today, a Soviet one. But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. I'm not a Soviet lover, by the way. Returning to the subject at hand. Ah yes, the victim was one Mr. Clay Terran, a subordinate of the defendant. Indeed, a loyal disciple, brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing? Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant, and so he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see. clay. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. Really, what sort of evidence do I have? Oh, only the autopsy. That's awesome. However, there is one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. What purpose does it serve exactly? Since you asked so nicely, it's your coffin. Have mercy on me. I jest. It's evidence. Due to its immense size, we have little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time. Phew, I feel like I just lost 50 years of my life. Does he even have 50 years left? Inner monologue, Athena, inner monologue. Enough jabbering. Bobby Fulbright. Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice, we trust you. Oh, Detective Fulbright. Very well then, please explain the details of this incident to the court if you would. On it, first take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of this building, take a look at this cross-section that we police have created. See the launch pad in the main building? The launch pad is a square building and the rounded structure is the main building, right? You got it. The incidents took place in the launch pad 1 and in the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony. I make it easier. It will make it easier to understand. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Already a witness testimony. What am I witnessing, man? Details of the case. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom, boom. A certain capital, one on the second floor of the Space Center's main building, and one in Launch Pad 1. Thankfully, only 2 astronauts were in Launch Pad 1 at the time. 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge, but after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. A murder on top of a bombing? Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct? Yup. Thinking he would sabotage the bombing, the defendant attacked and killed the victim. Just look at this tragic photo. Oh my, is that a knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor, it's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. Couldn't get any prints off of it, though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit. Utility knife. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photograph? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity after all. Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a face of fingerprints. Now, there's just one more thing I would like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Something so important to the victim he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. Capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case. I see. So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the second floor, but where was the bomb that was in Launch Pad 1 located? That one was on the rocket itself. The situation around the central part of the rocket. Apparently the area around the launch pad's elevator was a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram and report into the record. The trial has just started and we are already in a bind. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? What the 2 astronauts were doing during the bombing? That will be the key. Details of the case. Just before the rocket was set to launch, the two bombs went off. How powerful were the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. I would go to the other side of the world or even to the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that is, actually. But I guess I leave that observable or like actual universe. But I guess I leave that one alone. Admirable decision, Justice Dono. Huh? What did he decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at that time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators in the third floor lounge. It was pitch black in there, I tell ya. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on an emergency backup. And how did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked the people down to the Space Center's basement shelter. Basement shelter? Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center. An emergency shelter. Oh, here it is, it's at the bottom of the diagram. Space Center's pretty impressive to have its own shelter. The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. I guess I leave that aside for now. So there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Yep, that's right. One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building and one in Launchpad 1. Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged the rocket he was going to board with explosives? Huh? What are you talking about? The defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket. He would get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Fine, simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. Astrophobia? What's that? Fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. What are they? These are anti-anxiety tablets that were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. There were a multitude of problems with the rocket, Mr. Starbuck wrote 7 years ago. Rumor has it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was of course very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck. But that doesn't mean he would go so far as to blow up his own ship. Silence. The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name, now could he? No, not after the media had branded him Soul Starbuck, Space Pioneer Extraordinary. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mod. What? So that's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the Space Center, which would effectively abort the launch but spare his reputation. Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal. Thankfully, only 2 astronauts were found in Launchpad 1 at the time. Are you sure it was only the 2 of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those 2. Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket. Silence. The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just enter the area from the lounge. One must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? It sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of the number of people that passed through the door yesterday? Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:78. 28. Doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can be considered a suspect then. I'm pretty sure he's the one. Launchpad 1, door lock, edit to record. I need to press him on everything because that's how I get evidence. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. So while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it. In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Terran could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at boarding time and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were 2 of them. Space Center Director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candice Arme. Oh, one of them was a detective? Yup, Detective Arme specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant. 2 witnesses, and one of them is a detective. I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of this case. Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little I could get out of him only hurt my case. Justice done of foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera. As the 2 astronauts emerged from the bowels of the Launchpad 1 corridor, the boarding lounge security camera captured the desperate escape. Now I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering, which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. What? Order. This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting. I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Amapolo? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at that point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Terran was still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to the one-eyed hothead and the dotard. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Wright, explain it to Justice Dono. You got it, really, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship, that's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility that the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
Your assertion is based on emotion. Is based in your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely have his own disciple, but you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could be still alive. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice Dono, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. But it sounded perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice Dono, if you have any further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Objections? Well, Of course we object. Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? It's just something that's been bothering me. If it isn't the defense stalling for time as always. Very well, I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time. Yes. You have 5 seconds. 5 seconds? After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and the verdict to be rendered. Your boldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh. Ready? You don't have time. Spit it out, Athena. Only 3 more seconds. Look, I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning there's something missing. Like they conveniently left it out unexplained. Something they didn't explain. Oh, you're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you would like to rebut? Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There is something the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court. Well, if you put it that way, what is that prosecution has failed to explain? Why the body was moved? They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. I don't think we have heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet. That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? Prosecutor is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. Defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim, he was helping him. Fulbright, explain it for our sad friend here before I nod off his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Space Boy moved the victim. They've gotta be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself, obviously. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there would be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds. Saving the life of a partner who weighs as much when trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sub-story fit for the silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see? Yet the true ending is that all traces of this hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion.
Objection!
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence.
Indeed, you are correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arme. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. There's still a coffin beside the witness stand. That would be a bomb transport case. We used it to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy. Ah! One on the second floor of the main building, one of the lounge pad and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated, for had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection.
Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that the peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically a bomb detonation switch. You found what? Unwinnable case. I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. When the Space Center director and Detective Arma stumbled across the murder, so he fought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble-brained that he is. No, Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that. Justice Dono, open your eyes and see the truth. This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can be the truth. Still, I can't accept it. You believe in your client, come what may? Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has got to be a trap. It's like Black was controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seemed like he was waiting for me to bring up the body moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then making your cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was a part of his plan too. Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Now let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself. Famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck. Fiendish. Witness your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony? No. Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terran. Please testify to these allegations. Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence.
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Wow, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there? He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. I didn't kill him. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed to the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay, I was trying to save him. So you assert you didn't set up the bombs or murder the victim? Haha. But I bet you think I am lying, right? I reserve all judgment until after I have heard your full testimony. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who would wear a suit like that except an astronaut? I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to the fantasy. I guess I'm just big disappointment. Ha 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 ha. I really don't care what happens anymore. Ha 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 ha. Oh, he completely given up. What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. I like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackville a second ago. That was Blackville sighing. Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun shy now. It's time to find out the truth. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. So what you're saying is that the victim was still alive at the time? Of course, he was alive and well.
Silence.
If so, then you admit you took a man who was alive and well? And silenced him permanently with this? What? No, Black hole confirmed, dead ahead. Oh, it's no good, Captain. I'm getting sucked in.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you are not in space. Please give your testimony seriously. It was just nerves, but maybe I shouldn't have said he was alive and well. It was more like he was slumped over. Those are complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Is it the elevator inside the launch pad area? That's right, we always use it to get to and from the cockpit. That makes sense, so he was just using the route he always used. Despite of the fact that there had just been an explosion? Huh? I think Mr. Starbuck is hiding something. Something pretty big.
Hold it!
Oh, I think would have used the ladder maybe instead? Passed out? Why he was passed out? Probably because of the explosion, the noise and vibration were incredible. It's little wonder a person would pass out, right? I guess. Not that I would know. I've been hit by space debris. The main engine's on fire, it's gonna blow. Why does this game keep flashbanging me? Bro, stop. Yes, I see. I guess it does make sense that someone would pass out. Especially if the person in question is Mr. Starbuck. Oh, bro. Anyway. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him. Apollo, there's something strange about Mr. Starbuck's testimony. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's a glaring contradiction. I just wonder why it's there and what it means for our case. But it doesn't look like he's lying, at least. I guess I have to show some evidence. Okay, I think it's the explosion map on the second sentence, although... Yeah, I mean, how the fuck would you use the... Bro, there was an explosion there. What the fuck? You're lying, bro? Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice Donald? Please recall where the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also record that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right, which means? Exactly, the Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable, in other words. Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What with the helmet? Mission command, do you read me? Come in, please.
Objection!
This is mission command. And I'm fine. I order you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck! Exclamation mark. My helmet. My oxygen tank. Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining, requesting medical assistance. Damn, this was way too easy. Oh, okay, Starbuck is the killer. Wait, what is the real map? Oh, we don't see the other side. So Launchpad 1, but yeah, I mean the problem is, I was gonna say the... Maybe... I mean, what is the order of the bombs that are going off? Is there an explanation for this? I don't know. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologize, Your Honor. I thought I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Sorry guys for all the alt-tabbing and shit. I'm just looking if... Okay, see one here. Okay, just quickly check something. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing what he's saying. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you use the middle level elevator? I was nervous and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually took a different route, I think. A different route? I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I get it right this time, maybe. No, I mean probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, your accuracy is paramount in court. Use the ladder. It's so obvious, bro. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, but probably. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right, there's a ladder that spawns the upper and middle levels. How would you... I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. Oh, because he was alive. If he wasn't alive, that would not be possible, right? And the capsule you mentioned, I suppose you mean that thing next to Mr. Terran here? Was the capsule that important that you would risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, the capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Haha. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. Bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Let's see, my escape route, what I said before was a mistake. How could you mistake such a basic fact? Hey, everybody makes mistakes, but try thinking about the vastness of space instead. From Earth, it takes 4 light years to travel to our nearest neighboring star. So you see, compared to... What? While light itself takes approximately 4.24 years to reach Proxima Centauri, our nearest neighboring star, a journey for humans using currently theoretical technology will take vastly longer due to the immense distance involved. What do you mean nearest star? Isn't it the... I mean, I guess in the sense it cannot be the sun, which is the nearest star. So it's Proxima Centauri, that's the nearest one. For Voyager 1, it traveling approximately 17 per 1 kilometers per hour. It would take over 73,000 years to reach Proxima Centauri. So this is a star, Proxima Centauri. I thought this is way fucking further. Alpha Centauri, Proxima Centauri, and Alpha Centauri B. And oh yeah, right, 4 light years away. Damn, these stars are really fucking close, actually. In which, I guess it's in the same galaxy. Which galaxy? For the Milky Way, yeah, it's in the Milky Way. Guys, I think the Milky Way is fake. It's a projection on the on the sky. So you see, compared to the vast expanse of space, human error is insignificant. I wish you would consider it just a little more significant than 0. Enough jabbering. Get on with your testimony. I remember now, I took a different route. Maybe, probably. Maybe? Probably? Did I hear you right, Mr. Stubberbuck? What's Starbuck? Stubberbuck? I didn't say either of those things. Mission control, come in please. An error has occurred in the sound system. Activate the emergency tin can telephone. Oh no! Tin can telephones are ineffective in the vacuum of space.
Silence.
Stop this nonsense or I will sever you and your tin can telephone. Alright, I'm begging you. I tell the truth, just don't sever anything. Apollo, is he going to be alright? I'm starting to think he's not. Let's see, so about when we were running away. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. And clay in my arms. But wasn't he alive? Wasn't he alive, bruh? I don't know, bruh. Okay, whatever. The upper level of the launch pad area? That's right. That's what I said, isn't it? Granted, the route does exist. So, to recap, you had clay over your right shoulder and the capsule in your left hand? Yeah, it's really important, so I couldn't let it get burned up. So even though clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. I did the best I could with him over one shoulder and the capsule in my other hand. I don't think the meaning of what he just said has hit him yet. You know what you have to do with that statement? Justice Donald? Yes, I know. But I've come this far, no turning back now. It's time to present some evidence. So Mr. Starbuck escaped with clay and the capsule, which means it's just like in the footage. I can see why he couldn't run though. Must have weighed over 200 pounds just by himself. Yes, and he had to support Clay, who was another 200 pounds. Plus, he had to ensure the safety of that capsule. I don't think I could have even walked under these circumstances. Walking straight forward is probably about all I would have been able to manage. So it's like impossible? Let's see. Yeah. So what do you even present here? Do I just present how would you go down the ladder? I guess not. Or I guess so. Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue. No, that's not right. So, I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. The oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route. To get down from the upper to the middle level where the Launchpad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder, isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course, that was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
Sorry guys, how would that work? At the time you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him over 200 pounds. Oh... Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But you weren't on the moon, Ray. But the Space Center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus, climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down the ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth. Now! Engineer, where's that engineer? Oxygen leak detected. Due to 40 something. What the? He's flying the coop! Help, I'm caught on the ceiling. Help, anyone? Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker, we must launch our rescue mission at once. Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. I would rather prove his innocence so he can go to the space again someday for real. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yes, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that. Anything but that. What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Spaceboy is prone to deception. Witness. Yikes. Yes. I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect? Prosecutor Blackwell, please! Please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Didn't I already state that Spaceboy is ironically terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh, I sense things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told them during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? Could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember, because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? Order in the motherfucking court. We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anybody to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it? Which brings us to the answer of our original question, of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does. So what is it? That man feels no pain and makes no complaints, Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my, I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his free hand.
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectable thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct. Really? Oh, thanks. Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet according to the autopsy report, only the knife was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice though. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space, so falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Objection!
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? It should, and yet through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to the target. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suits work. He's got me there. And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It's clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Here, the report regarding the astronauts' oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as a payment to cross the river Styx, I guess. Victim's tank was ruptured. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. Oh my god. A display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. After the incident, the victim's tank was ruptured and the remaining oxygen was 0%. The tank belonging to Starbuck, who claims to have full carried the victim, said it was 80% full. I guess that means the glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen remaining. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space. I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space! Spaceboy. Yes? Take heart. The bejeweled right now. Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars as seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. Haha, that's not half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck, Prosecutor Blackwell got to him good. Spaceship prison cell, fly me guilt. Fly me, my guilt and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then let's get sucked into a black hole together.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh, yes, Apollo. You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you are an incredible man. He said you would never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that. So don't give up now and have me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Terran. For Clay. You are wasting your breath. Raw. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck. I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right, well, we are both fine. We will both be fine. Okay, I prove you're innocent. You'll see. And after that, we get you back into space. You have ignited the booster rockets of my soul. I'm on fire. I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down. Balderdash. The sun, the moon. All of space is calling me. Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. What the fuck is happening? It's gonna end up on the ceiling again. Well, I feel like I witnessed an actual rocket launch. Apollo, you did it. You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He put himself through. If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos, no matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your boldness? I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. I won't allow Clay's dreams to remain unfulfilled. I've got to disrupt Blackwell's argument somehow. Think just as you think. If the only people at the launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. I think it's actually Clay carrying the guy, because he doesn't remember anything. It's like, okay, yeah, that's how it happened. The victim's oxygen tank was ruptured. The defendant had 80. Remaining oxygen is displayed on the left shoulder. Display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining after the incident. The victim's tank was ruptured and the remaining oxygen was 0%. The tank belonging to Starbuck, who claims to have carried the victim, said it was 80% full. Thanks for functioning properly at the time, so it's 50. On that, at least. Maybe that was the one that got ruptured. About the data, this supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in the launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here. Enough of this farce, your boldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. What about this oxygen tank data you just submitted just now? It says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Terran's had 0. Do you stand by that accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look at here at the detailed description and you see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor, right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stands in contradiction to. And how does this evidence present a contradiction? The problem in this part is here. Note that the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran. It appears to say 50. Yes, but according to the data, our client tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increased. I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence!
I do find it odd that the oxygen remaining had increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it is the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
I'm going to bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical, we can't overlook it.
Silence!
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of this mysteriously increasing oxygen? You would better not disappoint, or I declare that the inconsistency is mere equipment malfunction. Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased? Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So this man with the 50, his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display on his oxygen tank should have shown 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what I should be asking is, why did the oxygen level increase? But what had to have happened to make it look like it increased? Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here? Well, Mr. Justice Dono, we are waiting. Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. The victim was carrying the defendant. Yes. What if it was the other way around? The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice Dono? As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out, this is where our base assumptions went astray. You assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge. What? Oh my god. I had this... The moment I have seen this image that they both have their helmets on. Who the fuck is who? Order, Mr. Justice. You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Terran? It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%. That's right, there's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. This means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence.
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time? How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection.
Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't hurt me with a broken blade. Excuse me? It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating, but we have proven that Mr. Terran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims, and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene, but can we fully trust their statements? Let's see, the two people were Detective Candice Arme and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. It seems we have to hear the testimony of these first two people on the scene. Score. Come to think of it, Detective Arme should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arme to the stand? Oh, my favorite character, Ted Tonate. I have an announcement, everyone. What's the meaning of this? We are in the middle of a trial here. Please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but... It's about to explode. Explode? A bomb now? Everybody run! I don't want to die. Oh no, everybody's panicking. Detonated.
Silence.
Headless chickens with a death wish, the lot of you. Calm yourselves for all else. Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here. But what about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And we will carry out Clay's final wish. I don't care what happens to me, I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever. I refuse to let things end here. Apollo, this is no time to be dramatic. If you don't get out of here now, we are gonna die. Come on, this way. Hey, ouch, let me go. Apollo, Juniper, she hasn't evacuated yet? Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no, not that way. Wow, this is epic as fuck. To be continued, and this is where case 1 cuts in, and then you have the second part of the cosmic turnabout. I mean, this is epic. This is epic. And then I guess I'm gonna see the shift of the characters. Nice Phoenix. In the middle of the Space Center bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. Dead Tonate. We managed to clear Miss Wood's name. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Tonate. December 19, 3:21 p.m. Wright Anything Agency. Apollo is a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Yeah, poor guy being attacked by Tonate like that on top of all of his other injuries. Apollo is resting at a nearby Hickfield clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. What an awful turn of events. I never thought he would land in a hospital of all places. You must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anybody to tease. Don't worry, he's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. It's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so done. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating. Sniffle! Alright, enough of this, people. This is no time to be moping around. Now dry those eyes, both of you. You're the only one who's crying out, you know? Technicalities. Look, we have work to do. We have to take over. Take over what exactly? Apollo Space Center case, of course. As no verdict's been reached, there's still a chance. I agree with Athena. You should pick up Mr. Starbucks' defense. So yeah, now I have all the thingies here. We have to avenge our fallen comrade, right, Teddy? Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know. Apollo has fallen, it's so over. God, now that's settled, let's get going. Come on, we gotta run. Wait, right now? Now? We better not run in the way. There she goes. I would better go catch up. Can you take care of the office, Trucy? Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm going to bake some cookies and fill up my magic panties for you. Is this all her doing? Like, she only does this. Magic panties cookies. I've seen all the, I think, discussions with Trucy in this game. It's always comes down to this. Trucy seems to be feeling a little better, although she doesn't really have a role in this. It's just a character, you know, here. I can always count on Athena to perk everybody up with her enthusiasm. Oh, she's back. Don't mind me, I just forgot a few things. Wallet, phone, the documents, my bag. Sounds more like you forgot everything. I can always count on Atena for that too. Alright, you two, let's be careful out there. Okay, this is where I stop. Oh, I'm at the detention center. December 19, detention center. Visitors room. Okay. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous, even I have heard of him. He's so famous, even I have heard of him. Yeah, the Phoenix Wright is not a commoner. He's a... I'm not really sure about the terminologies for medieval ranks, so I'm gonna look this up. Landlord, really? It was called landlord? Squire. Man of high social standing who owns and lives on an estate in a rural area, especially the chief landowner in such an area. Nobleman? Oh yeah, nobleman. Phoenix is a nobleman. Okay guys, see you the next time.